Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. A recent discovery of ancient treasure, 4 gold coins found, gives some hint of the dramatic times in the Holy Land. Let's explore! As many of you know, I love to do stories like this. This is something I found on some gold coins that were found that are over 1,050 years old. And this particular article here, we're going to look at 2 different stories about this. Interesting, the different takes and how they talk about this particular story. The coins date back to just over 1,000 years ago, to the early Islamic period, and tell the tale of dramatic times in the Holy Land. And there you can see the jar with the 4 coins there. When workers were recently doing preliminary digging ahead of the installation of a new elevator between the Western Wall Plaza and the Jewish quarter of Jerusalem's Old City, they packed up a small pottery jar with other findings for further future investigation. It was only when the juglet was opened a few weeks later that 4 ancient gold coins, all in mint condition, rolled out. Can you imagine finding those coins in there and being in mint condition, sitting underground for that long of a period of time? Amazing, over 1,000 years. To my great surprise, along with the soil, 4 shiny gold coins fell into my hand. This was the first time in my career as an archaeologist that I have discovered gold, and it is tremendously exciting, says Israel Antiquities Authority Excavator Director David Gelman. And here is a photograph of those 4 gold coins. They were unearthed in mint condition, stashed away with soil inside of a juglet. Fascinating indeed. The coins date back to just over 1,000 years ago, to the early Islamic period, and tell the tale of dramatic times in the Holy Land. The coins date from a relatively brief period from the late 940s to the 970s Common Era. And notice they use Common Era here because we know this particular website here is Israeli21c.org and more than likely is a Jewish site. Explains IAA coin expert Robert Kuhl. This was a time of radical political change when control over Eretz Israel passed from Sunni Abbasid Caliphate, whose capital was Baghdad, Iraq, into the hands of its Shiite rivals, the Fatimid dynasty of North Africa, who conquered Egypt, Syria, and Eretz Israel in those years. And here we see a photograph of Robert Kuhl himself examining the coins. The coins found in the juglet are a near-perfect reflection of the historic events, he says. 2 gold dinars were minted in Ramla during the rule of Caliph al-Muti, 946 and 974 Common Era, and his regional governor Abu Ali al-Qasim ibn al-Ashud al-Nujur, from 946 to 961 Common Era. The other 2 gold coins were minted in Cairo by Fatimid rulers Mauz, 953 to 975 Common Era, and his successor Al-Aziz, 975 to 996 Common Era. He adds that the 4 dinars was a considerable sum of money for most of the population who lived under difficult conditions at the time. It was equal to the monthly salary of a minor official, or 4 months' salary for a common laborer. And that is interesting indeed to give you some perspective of what those coins were worth, the salary. Now, they don't look to be all that big. In fact, if we look at him holding the coin, they look very thin, and maybe they could be a little bit bigger than just judging by his hand size and the coin he's holding there. My guess is it's somewhere between the size of a gold eagle and a gold double eagle. somewhere between that size and much thinner. So probably almost a half an ounce is my guess would be the weight of those. So you think about it, for a day laborer, that's what is spot price for it's about $1,000 a month that a normal day laborer would earn in today's dollars based off of the price of gold. And so when you're thinking about that's about $2,000 a month or $4,000 a month for somebody who is more well off, somebody who is prominent, a minor official in society. So here's the other article about this ancient gold stash found in a jug in Jerusalem, and the coins date back at least 1,050 years old. This 1,000-year-old piggy bank has been discovered in Jerusalem. So more likely they were trying to hide the thing. A small jug discovered in the Israeli capital's Jewish quarter last month turns out to contain 4 gold coins, the equivalent of 4 months' salary for a common laborer. At the time, the coins were tucked away more than 1,000 years ago. And so there you go. They start off right out of the bat mentioning it, but they just compare it to a common laborer. Archaeologists discovered the hidden loot while surveying a site prior to the construction of an elevator through the Western Wall Plaza, historic public square in Jerusalem's Old City. Israeli Antiquities Authority Inspector Yagani Kapil found the juglet, a clay vessel not much bigger than a coffee cup. Weeks later, excavation director David Gellum, an IAA archaeologist, upended the juglet into his hand and was shocked when a handful of coins came out with the dirt. And then we see the same quote about finding the coins there, first time he found them. And then they back to the years 940, 970, and but they don't give common era there. They use AD down here for the report of the rulers, which means Anno Domini, the year of our Lord, after the death of Jesus Christ. So this site is not, this is live science we're getting this from. So it's a little interesting perspective there, and how they report those dates. But again, here's this picture, and here we see him looking at the coin there. Let's take a little picture of that. You can see how thin that coin is there. Very thin indeed. Let's take a look. Here's the image of the coins there, all 4 of them. Very intricate designs on them, especially this one here. Very interesting indeed. There he is inspecting it closer. Very paper-thin gold coins. Wow. Paper-thin, paper-thin. Pretty wild. They're perfectly preserved. And it's the first time in 50 years that a gold cachet from the Fatimid period has been found in Jerusalem's Old City, he added. 4 dinars was a considerable sum of money for most of the population. It lived under difficult conditions at the time. And then he did say here, cool, this is a quote again, was saying it was equal to the monthly salary of a minor official or for a month's salary for common laborer. But others would have made far more. Cool said a senior treasury official could earn 7,000 gold dinars a month, Cool said, and also receive additional incomes from his rural estates amounting to hundreds of thousands of gold dinars a year. The finding comes after the discovery of an 1,100-year-old gold coin stash in Israel this past summer, and a hidden trove of 1,200-year-old gold coins in the Israeli city of Yavne in January. I've more than likely done videos on those as well. So very, very interesting indeed. Fascinating. A treasure found, and it is interesting indeed. Post your thoughts below. What would you do if you found an old jug like this and with dirt in it and you poured it out and all of a sudden you felt something hit your hands? It sounded like this and looked like that. Gold coins. There you go. Post your thoughts in the comment section below. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch this video. And after all of this rigmarole, you might as well rate, you might as well share, and you might as well jump. Go ahead and jump. Jump! Go ahead and jump. Oh, ho, hey, you! Who said that? Baby, how you been? You say you don't know. You won't know until you begin. So can't you see me standing here? I got my back against the record machine. And do you know what I mean? And all that jazz. I really want to know if you know what I mean. Might as well jump.